by using a secure coding technique or different server-side implementation and all. But how you can scan a particular website? We have different tools, but I suggest for the manual scans. The database now. If I talk about what is a database, relational database, RDBMS, relational database model, and we have another database called graph database, right? In graph we use the NoSQL database like MongoDB, but in RDBMS what happens? We used PHP MySQL console and all to create the database, insert record. We implement the DML queries, like DDL queries, data definition language and data manipulation language. Then insert into the database, updating the database, creating table, deleting table. Everything is done in the backend through different SQL and MySQL or MySQLite, MS SQL, different database with different database. Even today we are using PHP PDO, PHP data objects. If we create a database using PHP PDO, what is the advantage is that if tomorrow, let's consider Amazon website is building on the platform app MySQL. So tomorrow, if the founders of Amazon try to switch to the database like MongoDB or graph database, it is not possible for others to directly switch to a different database that is completely of different architecture. So if we use the database like PHP PDO technique that is called PHP data object, it is very easy to migrating into 12 different databases in the world. How to do that? You all are familiar with MySQL or MS SQL. You can simply go to the MySQL Connect, download through your Java program. You can configure to the Java program, and through PHP you can create database and all in the backend part. Suppose you need to create the admin table. In the admin table, you need to define the username and password. And also, if you have the facility of sign up an account, there are some certain parameters are passed: username, password, retype password, and captcha confirmation. And you click on the submit button. There is a special query run that is called insert into database query. Insert into the query run, and your username and password, whatever you provided, is completely saved into the database. So that later on you can log in into that. Now, my question is, the database where we inserted the query, is the database still secure? How to scan? And first, two things are there. One is to protect your web application login forms and securing your database against high-level SQL injection techniques. Not only SQL, we have the union-based injection, union-based SQL injection, error-based SQL injection, and many more. And according to Open Web Application Security Project, we have the attacks like CSRF, cross-site request forgery attack. Then XST, cross-site tracing, is one of the part of XSS, cross-site scripting, and many more. Like CSRF, cross-site request forgery, we have XSRF, cross-site server-side forgery attack. So these are the techniques actually in attacker used to exploit. And another and most important part is the transport layer security, insecure transport layer security, that I will today explain you with a very good topic called HTTPS with the example of pigeons, how pigeon carry boxes and all. We'll elaborate with that. You all know the concept of HTTPS. What is the full form of HTTPS? Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. And I told you earlier in which port number SSL runs. Port number 443. But do you know what is the actual meaning of SSL and who create this certificate? Who is the certification authority? If you go to Facebook's website, you will see in the upper left corner a padlock icon exists. You click on the padlock icon, you will see different algorithms like AES, Advanced Encryption Standard with 256-bit key size, is used to generate the fingerprint of the particular certificate. But today we have the technologies like Cloudflare, which is again a web application service provider. In case of security, they provide intrusion detections against DDoS. They provide security for strict transport layer protection and many more, so that anyone cannot flood into our network. So those services we can use today to secure our application and network. But before this session, I demonstrated the technique of SSL. If somebody is stripping your SSL, there is a special plugin in the EtherCap software that you can strip the SSL certificate, right? So that you can intercept the secure certificate data also. So in that case, how you can implement a premium SSL and what type of certification authority you require to stop these attacks? first let's understand. I talked about RDBMS, relational database model, where the data is saved in the forms of what? Rows and tables, rows and columns actually, in form of tables. Like in a particular row, your data exists and that is called as tuple according to the theory. Right? So how to extract those data from a website directly? How you can use that? We'll show you with different injection techniques. But for that you need a very good concept of database. Okay. Now we have actually a special command if you run this. Let me load this command. SQL map. Okay. See, SQL map is a special Python script. It's a Python SQL map. Now see, it is showing missing a mandatory option -d, -u, -l, -n. These are the different parameters you can check for the security of the website. How to do that? Now let me find out the get parameter. First of all, let's go for the authentication based vulnerability. Now let's understand the architecture. Suppose I go to admin login.asp. Okay. Any website, admin login beach Pilani, admin login Nadian town, admin login something. If you can break into the administrative panel, means without having the proper username or password or proper authorization, if you can log in, means there is a vulnerability exists in the system. But how can you assure that? We have different test method or test cases or inputs to check against this type of attacks. So if I go bits-pilani.ac.in admin-login.asp username, first of all, many administrators they do the thing, they keep their password as admin. So it is enough for an user to guess a username. Suppose I considered this website's admin password will be admin, but I don't know the password. There I will try to inject some malicious through queries through which I can pass some information and so I can got successful login. If I